Welcome to our 5 on 5. We're pleased to be joined by Klamath County Commissioner Dennis Linthicum, also a Republican congressional candidate for District 2. Dennis, how are you today?
I am doing great. It's so good to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming over and driving over the hill for this opportunity. So you're running for Congress. Tell us, what's been the biggest surprise for you thus far in your efforts?
Well, I am a Klamath County Commissioner, and I've been a commissioner for 3 years. And in my commissioner's office, I see the constraints that are placed on local governments, businesses, individuals in the ranching and rural community in Klamath, and you certainly see it in businesses here. And I decided to pick up the mantle and run for Congress because I think the Republican Party has lost its way. The Republican Party is streaming towards this vision of the state and the federal powers being more important than the individual. And I think the little guy, the businessman, the farmer and rancher need somebody to stand up for them. So that's why I decided to enter the race.
Mm-hmm. Now you're facing an uphill battle, forgive me for saying. Congressman Greg Walden is not only a longstanding congressman here in District 2, but also has taken on more of a profile nationally as well. How do you begin to challenge him?
Well, the challenge is simply making the evidence known. His voting record isn't that stellar. There are many different agencies that rank congressmen, and the Madison Project, Freedom Works, HeritageAction.org, all of those individual ranking systems don't rank Congressman Walden as a conservative. And I thought if the Republican Party and the establishment elite in Washington have lost their way, Congressman Walden represents that lost vision for what freedom looks like in America.
All right, interesting. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll have much more with Dennis in a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to our 5 on 5. We're going to hear with Klamath County Commissioner Dennis Linthicum, now a congressional candidate for Oregon District 2. So, Commissioner, what will be the main issue that you're kind of hanging your hat on as far as your candidacy?
The main issue that I think is important to communicate is we are in an era where we have grown up thinking in left and right, Republican, Democrat, liberal, conservative, and I don't think that's the battle anymore. I think the battle is between those who are in power and make the rules and provide governance and all of us who are trying to live under those rules. I think the Obamacare fiasco is one of those examples where there are all of these nonsensical items that you're supposed to live under. We see it in regulation coming from the EPA, whether it's wood stove or spotted frog or whatever, forest management. All of these are rulemaking at the federal level that I think really belongs to the local people. It should be in our back pocket, and we should create the environment where we govern our own lives. Mm-hmm. So that independence, that freedom and liberty should blossom from us, not come from us as dictates from government, or especially at the federal level.
Okay, now one of the things we've seen some very poor reviews in polls, many polls, as far as Congress's ratings. A lot of it has to do with a lack of bipartisanship nowadays. What would you do if you were elected to Congress to change that?
I think the bipartisan issue is a little misstated because it's not whether we can both compromise or not. What we should be looking for is what is the best policy, what's the most effective means for managing the economics and government and regulatory aspects of governance. And I think by giving people more freedom, you'll see that blossom in the marketplace. The economy will improve, jobs will get created. So I think it's really a step in the right direction to move towards less regulation, not more regulation in this bipartisan era that you're describing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now one of the things, you're obviously a Klamath County Commissioner, you're challenging Republican Congressman Greg Walden as one of the largest districts in the entire country. So people over here in Jackson County may not know you as well, of course, as in Klamath County. What would you like people that may not be familiar with you, what would you like them to know about Dennis Linthicum?
Well, first of all, know that I recognize the complicated issues that are facing America. The $17 trillion debt, the recent budget deal, these are math problems. They're not emotional problems or psychological problems. They're really math problems. Can we accomplish what the federal government is promising? And I think everyone needs to recognize that if these promises aren't fulfilled, we've got a lot of men and women in Congress who have been untruthful with regard to what our future looks like. So it's time we held them accountable. Let me give you a quick quote from Thomas Jefferson. He says, "If ever the people become inattentive, then you and I and the assemblies and the governors shall become as wolves." And I think that inattentiveness is what we're seeing in the marketplace today.
Very good. Commissioner, pleasure to meet you.
You bet. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. Thank you. Stay with us. We'll be right back.